Be super honest with you, I'm probably the worst person to be talking about this in this video because I'm gonna be real, I don't manage stress, stress manages me. Let's talk about stress management. We all know that a big component to health, wellness, living an active lifestyle, making sure that you're healthy overall, one of the big components is stress and stress management. I'll be super real with you guys, I'm not very good at it. I have ADHD, which means I am a very busy-bodied person. Only am I like physically doing a lot of things at one time, but my mind and my brain is just going like 100 miles per hour. So work from home, so the boundaries of doing things on my personal life and my work, they kind of start to intertwine together. I don't really know how to separate the two of them. I also get very overwhelmed with tasks because of all that, and so when I have a lot of things to do, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I don't really know what to do. So long story short, I gaslight myself and stress myself out for some reason. So without further ado, here is a list of things that I do to manage my stress as someone who doesn't know how to manage stress. Okay, let's start with the fun ones of managing stress. I have found that doing an art project a month has been really good for the soul. Not much of like a painter, but I find that investing into like a paint set has been really fun. Kind of learning how to paint, watching TikTok tutorials. I find just like painting in such a therapeutic way for me to just like detach, unwind, and kind of be creative. Always find some paint sets off Amazon. On the whole art project thing, I've also been creating mini doll houses. It was like this like tiny little thing, and there's instructions on it, and you're kind of just like DIY building it. I think the only thing you would need is like glue. Like crafting and tinkering was just so therapeutic, and it was just so nice to kind of just like unwind and kind of like do my own projects. And by the end of it, I had this cute little house. The thing I do to de-stress is actually have monthly challenges. Because my brain kind of just works on a reward system, I find that the more I create challenges or games for myself, the more I'm kind of setting myself up for success. So some of the ideas I try to do is try to finish a book a month. Currently, I'm reading Yellowface. I do find sometimes that when I am just like a busy-bodied person, I don't have time to read, and make it an intention to read before bedtime as opposed to my screen on at bedtime. Another way that I've been learning how to de-stress are gratitudes and affirmations. I actually received this gratitude journal as a Christmas gift. All you really do is you fill out this gratitude journal. Today, I'm grateful for blank. How will I make today awesome? Affirmations, and then there's always a quote somewhere in the middle here to like kind of just like set the intention for the rest of the day. And I find that I can really feel the difference between the days that I do them and I don't do them. I also find that it's even impossible for things to stress you out because you kind of created the intention, you created kind of like that seed of like being kind to yourself. In those moments where you pull yourself out, it's nice because like you started the day with compassion for yourself, and then as the day continues and you start to get stressed out, you start to realize, okay, well like I should have compassion for myself right now. There's nothing for me to be stressed out about. And then going back to the whole gratitude journals and affirmations, I also have this Dear Self affirmation deck. One is really nice because you kind of just like fill in the gaps. And today is intention. Like small little things that I have found have made me feel like I get less overwhelmed or less stressed about the day. I start the day off with compassion, or I pause for myself to have compassion. Another way that I've been finding I manage stress is finding meaning in connection. The intention to like re-meet a friend either each week or each month. So it's the perfect time for you to like unwind, you know, go for a coffee, have a glass of wine, laugh, share stories, and it really puts you in a place of like, okay, I'm creating a social environment for myself for me to not be so stressed. Because I work from home, I really need to make sure that my environment is ready for me to feel like I'm not going to stress myself out. I make sure that like my house is clean. I'll have like lo-fi music in the background, like candles lit up in the living room. And I also don't use the overhead lighting, the mini lights around my house, and warm lighting only to make me feel like I'm creating an ambiance for myself. For me personally, because I'm such a product of my environment, I just try to make sure that like area that I live in or the area that I'm working in or wherever I am is kind of just set up so I'm not either distracted or overwhelmed. Okay, so this one is for my fitness girlies out there. So obviously, we love to work out, we love to take care of ourselves, and these are all like small little things that I personally been doing to manage my stress. But what's been so nice is kind of moving through music. So like I've been doing a lot of yoga and a lot of stretching, and kind of like I create a playlist for myself that has been really nice to just like stretch with. Somewhere in there, there's like a somatic release of emotion. But you know, on the flip side, there's high intensity cardio aspect of things where I'll listen to like a whole album and go for a long ass run. Because that's it. For all the ways that I personally try to incorporate into my life to manage my stress. Again, keep in mind, like, I'm not really the best person to be telling you about how to manage stress, but there's some ideas that I personally have been trying to incorporate as someone who is a busybodied ADHD person. I do think that the big thing with health, fitness, and wellness is kind of like starting at a foundation and making sure that like you're set up for success. If you haven't already noticed, like a lot of those tips that I kind of shared weren't exactly like all physical things. At the same time, I think it's so much easier to manage those stressors if you kind of start with like a foundation of small little habits that you can be doing to get to a state where you can go for these long runs. You can feel comfortable with yourself to create a diet plan or work with a nutritionist so they can create it for you. Health, wellness, and fitness, they all kind of work in conjunction together, but it all kind of starts with like happening inside. So I just find that starting from like a ground zero and managing things from the inside out is probably the healthiest / holistic way to do things. So if you like this video on stress management, I am working on a video for April called Ab Mania April, Abtastic April. I don't really know what the title's gonna be. And so the reason why I wanted to make this video is because I kind of wanted to hold myself accountable of the type of stressors that I currently go through and what I kind of do to make sure that I'm lowering those stress levels. If you did like this video and you want to see more health, wellness, motivation, fitness, lifestyle, all that kind of stuff, then hit subscribe, follow along. If you have any other ideas of how you manage stress, comment them below. I'd love to see the type of techniques or type of things that you like to do to manage your stress levels. Anyways, thanks for watching. See ya!